Good morning. How are we doing? Welcome in, everybody, to a second episode of a New Era podcast, hosted here by Fryddy and OG Frid. If you didn't catch the first episode with our introductions, my name is Hanson, better known as Fryddy online, and I'm here with my dad, the OG Frid. Dad, would you like to say hi this morning?
Yeah. Good morning, everyone. Good morning, Hanson. How you feeling today?
Cold, very cold. That's how I'm feeling. Too cold. Um, we did a bit of an introduction in the first episode as to what we'll be talking about in this podcast going forward. So we're not going to jump back onto that today. We're kind of going to roll straight into the topics. What we do have on tap here today, though, we're going to recap the remaining games from Wildcard Weekend that we didn't talk about in the first episode and kind of circle back around how our picks did. Then we're going to jump into a full 7-round mock draft for the Patriots at this current moment. We're going to do that together. We've got a mock draft that simulates trades and stuff like that as well, because the Patriots love to trade down, or at least Bills did. Bill Belichick's Patriots did. So we'll jump on that. We've got a conversation about who are we more confident to win the title this year. The Bruins or the Celtics both have been very dominant so far in their early seasons, and now that we're moving out of football season soon, we got to start paying attention to some other
Oh,
sports.
don't say it's so.
I know. It comes and it goes so quickly. So sad. Um, but we'll jump right into that then. So we mentioned the Texans game. We mentioned the Texans Browns game. We mentioned what was the other one on Saturday that I'm missing?
The Lions and
No, Chiefs Dolphins. That's the one we talked about. I'm blanking here early on. So we mentioned the Lions, the Bills game, the Bucks, and the Cowboys game on our first episode, and I've got those picks here. Do you remember what you said for everything?
yeah, I think I said definitely the Lions were going to win. I know I said the Bills. I think I said it was like 27-10 Bills. Um, what else was there? And then the Eagles and Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I said the Bucks are only going to score 10 points.
No, you said
13.
24. You said the Bucks. You said the Eagles will soar. If you remember that
Yeah.
pun that you gave,
Yeah, I did say that. That's right. I said the Steelers would only score 10 to 13 points.
you did. So, I've got I've got all of them here. I went through and pulled them from the first episode. Um, rather than the 8 picks, the over and the under, and the spread for every game, you also had the Pollard anytime touchdown call, which did hit, and I was talking about the Bucks money line as well as the spread. So we've got 9 picks in there. Dad, you went 2-7.
Holy shit.
I know, I know. I didn't do too much better at 4-5. But we'll recap some of this real quick. So we'll start off number one with the first game on Sunday, the Dallas Cowboys and the Green Bay Packers. We were both on the Cowboys spread, and we loved this. I don't know what there is to say about this outside of the fact that Mike McCarthy needs to be fired. The
Well,
Cowboys are
yeah,
terrible.
Bill
Cowboys are a terrible
Belichick.
organization.
Yeah, Bill Belichick's team.
Yeah, like you mentioned as well. Let's see if that comes to fruition. But we both. No, you had the under. I had the over. Somebody had to hit, and I did. Um, although I had said the over relied on the Cowboys because I thought it was going to be a Cowboys beatdown. Flipped the script a little bit, and it was a Packers beatdown. But so we both missed Cowboys spread there. You missed the under, I missed the over. You got the Pollard anytime touchdown right off the dome too. That was pretty impressive. I threw that at you just out on a limb, and you were able to pull that one out of your ass. So that was pretty good. Um, do you see the Packers having any fighting chance this week against 49ers? I know we all wrote them off against the Cowboys this past week, but should we be doing that again?
Yeah. Yeah. I think San Francisco getting healthy and San Francisco. As well as, it's really cool to see that young quarterbacks. Although, I mean, can you say Jordan Love is a young quarterback sitting behind Aaron Rodgers for 3 years, finally
Of
getting his
course.
chance? I mean, he's young in the fact that he hasn't played, um, but yet, yeah, it's great to see. When you draft, there's been plenty of misses out there,
Mac Jones.
but right now, I think you got Jordan Love doing well, CJ Stroud doing well, Baker Mayfield after his third team or doing well, finally. But yeah, you got to get into that right system, you know, and these guys are playing well. But talking about system guys, Brock Purdy, definitely a system guy. And I think San Francisco will end Green Bay Packers run here.
Right. Let's hope we don't get this one wrong. This time around. I swear to God, if the Packers burn us again, we might actually have to give them a little credit. Come then, that'd be the conference championship next weekend. Oh my God, this is flying by. So I've got at the current lines that I'm seeing 49ers -10 over under 50.5. Give me a quick lean on that.
Wow. 10. Yeah, I mean, I know San Francisco's defense is a lot better than the Cowboys. And I think offensively, they will ground and pound, keep it, a shorter game, if you will. So yeah, I'll still stay San Francisco the points, and I'll go over.
No, over with a shorter game. Interesting. Okay, I like the reasoning though. I mean, everything that I would have said. I'm going San Fran -10. I'm going to go under 50.5 here. We'll flip the script. I said over last week. I'll say under this week. It's probably going to end up being wrong, but we'll see what happens. I mixed up the schedule there. That's actually Saturday night's game. The first game we've got on Saturday is the Texans and CJ Stroud coming into Baltimore, trying to continue the Cinderella story. We've got Ravens -9 at the current moment, over under 44. Give me your leans on this game.
Wow. I mean, I would love to see this Houston Texan story continue. But you are going into Baltimore. It is going to be cold. I'll still stay with Baltimore, the points, and I'll take under.
Okay. Now there's completely a world in which the Houston Texans go into Baltimore this weekend and they get pummeled. I was on the Browns last week. I was sad to do it. I would have loved to be rooting on CJ Stroud, and they are a fun team to watch. And God damn it, I'm gonna do it this week. I'm not taking the money line. I'm not taking them to win, but I'm taking the +9. I think this could be a close game, and we'll go over 44. All right. So the first game on Sunday, then we move over to the second day of the weekend. We've got the Tampa Bay Bucks at the Detroit Lions. Before I get into the lines here, we've got two of those games that we did predict. So we've got the Lions who faced the Rams. Do you remember you said you remember you did the lines here?
Yeah.
You were close to. You should have never corrected me when I had mentioned that everybody was on the Rams, because you had said Rams +3 originally. You would have hit that. We both missed the line spread in this game with the 3 points. Although, what a game it was to watch. I'm happy to lose the spread in what was the best game of Wildcard Weekend, being able to watch that and everything. We both had the over too. It was an unnecessarily high over. It was at 53.5. Total came in at 47, so we both missed that too. So when 0-2 in that game, we're not looking so hot.
But did I not say that Matthew Stroud was going to have an opportunity to win at the
Stroud?
end? I mean, what am I saying? Stafford. Matthew Stafford.
Goodness. You did. But I don't think it was him. I don't think he threw a pick unless did he? Am I thinking of something else? I remember the ARSB first down on 2nd and 9 that ended up winning him the game. But I don't remember a pick at the end there.
Yeah, no, but I mean, it was a tight game.
Yeah, you did say it was close. We did say it was close,
Yeah.
and that was a great game. So then the other side of this game, Tampa Bay, who had the Eagles come and visit down there in Florida, and absolutely whooped up on them. Now I told you this. I noted this for the podcast. I took Buck spread, money line.
Yeah.
We hit those.
Yeah.
You had the Eagle spread, missed there. We both had the over. We missed there. I think I think that's because of the fact that the Eagles looked terrible and couldn't put up any more than 9 points. I mean, the over-under was set at 43 and a half. If we literally get a field goal out of the Eagles, we hit that one too. But they just looked terrible. So that recaps our picks on those games at least. But moving on to the present, we've got the Bucks 6.5 point underdogs going into Detroit. We've got the over-under set at 48.5. Give me your leans on this game.
I mean, obviously, Bucks are extremely hot. It would be sad to end this Detroit run and what they're doing for the city. But you know what? I did it wrong last week. I'm gonna go Tampa Bay.
Going Tampa Bay to win, or are you taking the 6.5?
I'll take the 6.5, and I will go over.
Over. So you're staying away from Bucks money line. You're taking the spread. He said, "I'll take the Bucks," but you're just taking the points. All right. I'm thinking too much here. I just said quick leans. You know what? Quick lean. I'm also going Bucks 6.5. I think if that game is a 1 point game with the Rams, I don't think that the Rams are 5 points, 6 points better, or the Bucks are 6 points better than the Rams going into this game. Yeah, you're in Detroit, but you're in a dome. Don't have to worry about any shitty weather this week. I'll take Bucks plus 6.5 to keep it close. Maybe a field goal game.
Yeah.
And
I'm just worried
that
somehow the emotion and everything is just going to go the wrong way for the Lions. It'll be a lot tighter.
That happens. Yep. You can see this happen to teams in the playoffs, especially ones like Detroit, where, I mean, we mentioned it earlier this week. That was their Super Bowl. They needed to win that game, and they did, and it was a lot tighter than I think they wanted it to be. But maybe you got a little too much emotion, a little too much, carrying over from the wild card weekend, and maybe you fall flat on your face. So, I'm not anticipating that. I still think they win the game, but I think 6.5 points. Seeing how both teams played this last week, I think 6.5 is a little too much. But at 48.5, I'm going to go, ooh, man. I'll go over there as well with you. We're probably going to go 0 for 2 on that, but who cares? And then the last one, the game of the week here. God, NFL did such a good job scheduling these games than they did this weekend. Absolute masterclass of where they put these. We've got the Chiefs and the Bills at 6:30 p.m. on Sunday to close out the weekend. Before we get into the lines there, the last picks we had were for the Bills and the Steelers game. We both went 1-1 here. Wasn't too bad. We were on the same side both ways. We both hit the Bills spread. We both had the under, which ended up missing, but I don't think we could have expected even the Steelers to put up 17 points there. So hopefully we can rebound this week a little bit. We've got, at the current moment, Buffalo Bills favored by 3 at home. We've got over-under set at 45.5. Let me hear it, Dan.
Yeah, Buffalo. They will this time beat the Chiefs in overtime, and I will go with the over.
So you're taking the 3?
Yep.
Okay. So you think overtime by a touchdown then?
Yeah.
Okay. Um, you know, when I was building out our agenda yesterday, and when I was looking at this line, it was 2.5. And I was definitely going to go Bills 2.5 because I think you take it with a field goal. Like you said in overtime, I think this is going to be a very close game. But at +3, yeah, it's never good to make a pick hoping for a push. But this line that I've seen is probably the first one all year that I'd be the most confident in a push all year. Um, I I'm picking the Bills to win. Let me state that now. I want the Bills to win. I'm picking the Bills to win, but I don't think they're getting above 3 points. So I think I'm going to take Kansas City +3 here and anticipate Bills winning by a field goal in overtime potentially or right at the end of the game and kind of hoping for a push. But I'm taking Kansas City +3 here to keep it close. And then over under 45.5. Let's go over. I think both these offenses are going to be clicking. I mean, we see the games that happen when Josh Allen and Mahomes are on the field. They're instant classics. I think they'll put up some points this week. I'm going to go over in that game as well. So that'll round them out. I will, take note of those. And then once we come back for episode 3, we'll hopefully do better than 2-7 and 4-5 this week.
Yeah.
But we will see. Good luck to all the teams in not wildcard weekend now, divisional round weekend. And let's hope for some more good games. Maybe not as many blowouts as we had this first week. Okay, so that'll move us into our second segment here. This one I'm pretty excited about, and I think you are too.
I am too.
Yeah. I mean, we do this stuff all the time. You and me love to talk about, potential draft picks and stuff like that. So we thought, screw it. Let's just put up a 7-round mock draft together. So I'm going to share my screen with you here, Dad, so you can see this as we do this live. And I'll pull this up here. So we're using NFLDraftBuzz.com/simulator. Lets you have your choice of teams, the speed at which the picks, you do get trades. It's got the trade value chart. I'm not changing anything from that. I'm just going to keep it at the standard Jimmy Johnson. But let me go in here. I'll pick the Patriots, and we'll get this started. So, like I said, they are going to propose trades to us here, so we'll go over those together before we make a decision. But this will go semi-quickly when we're not on the board or when we're not on the clock ready to pick. So just keep that in mind. But here we go. Start draft. So in the first pick and the second pick, as we probably noticed, we got Caleb Williams going number 1 to the Chicago Bears. We've got Marvin Harrison Jr. going to the Commanders at number 2. So that leaves us available here at number 3. We've got Drake May on the board, but let's look at a couple of trade offers that come in. We've got one with the Arizona Cardinals where they would trade up 1 pick. We'd get pick 4. We'd get pick 35 in the second round. We'd get pick 140 in the 5th round, and we'd get a second in 2025 along with star safety Budda Baker. I really like that one. We've got one with the Broncos where we pick up pick 12. We drop, 9 spots there in the first. We'd pick up pick 76 in the 3rd round. We'd get a 1st, 2nd, and 3rd in 2025 along with wide receiver Jerry Jeudy. We've got one with the Las Vegas Raiders where we would move back 10 spots to pick 13 in the 1st. We'd pick up pick 44 in the 2nd. We'd pick up pick 112 in the 4th round, along with a 1st and 2nd in 2025. And then our last one is with the Detroit Lions. We'd get pick 30 in the 1st, pick 93 in the 3rd, a 1st in 2025, and Jahmyr Gibbs. I'm not going to lie, all of these are great. But how are you feeling about these?
As much as there's some value later, 1st round next year, building, the one actually I probably would like the best would be the Cardinals one, only because you're just dropping back 1 slot. Now I saw one, I think actually this morning, which I really liked, and I wish it would have come up. Atlanta Falcons had
The number
offered
8.
one to drop back, and then the second, and then use the second and another draft that we got to move back up into the first round.
Yep.
So we'd have 2 first-round picks. I loved that one, but if we're going to do anything here, bolster up the defense. Could you imagine Buda Baker and Kyle Duggar together?
Yeah. Well, I'm happy you said the Cardinals one because while, the Broncos one may be flashy first, second, and third next year, Jerry Jeudy, we do need offensive weapons. I do like the Cardinals one a little more. You move down just a spot. They're not taking our quarterback here, I don't think. So I think we're just going to move down a spot. We're still going to have our choice at who we'd want. Throwing the rock. Buda Baker. I love Buda Baker. I'm just a big fan of Buda Baker. Yes, him and Duggar would be great, but you got to keep in mind too. Duggar is an impending free agent this year. So I think we do probably bring him back. I would really hope so. But if we don't, that is a great replacement right there in Buda Baker. So we're going to go ahead and accept that trade. We're going to gain the 4th pick overall, the 35th pick, an additional second there, an additional 5th, and a second in 2025. And we'll see what Arizona does with this pick. They're going to take Malik Neighbors, number 3 overall. They do need a weapon, so that makes sense. We've got some more trade offers coming in for pick 4 here. We've got the New York Giants offering the number 6 pick, so we move down 2. And the 39 pick in the second round, along with Bobby Okereke, linebacker. We've got the Jets offering the 10th overall pick, a 1st, 2nd, and 7th in 2025. And
No.
we've got And we've got the Las Vegas Raiders offering just Max Crosby. I guess in this situation, they are not hiring Antonio Pierce. If we're going to do anything, I think it's the Giants one. But how are you feeling about this before we pull the trigger?
I mean, that would give us 3 top second round. We would have 34, 35, and 39. But you know darn well, Giants are going to take a quarterback here. So do we like Jaden Daniels, which would be the next option, over Drake May? Or, we already got 34 and 35, and I'm worried that they'll take Drake May here. And I think his upside is a lot better, even though Jaden Daniels, Heisman winner. I think I want to go Drake May, so we'll decline all trades.
I'm happy you made that decision because honestly, either way, I would have been fine with Drake May or Daniels, but I think I've stated this to you. This is the first time I'll be stating it on the pod, but I like Drake May better than any quarterback in this draft class. Yes, Caleb Williams is a phenomenal talent, but I think just what's going to translate better to the pros, I think it's going to be Drake May. I love Drake May. I want him as the quarterback of the Patriots next year. And as much as it would be great to add another second, Bobby Okereke is a great linebacker as well. Absolutely adds up tackles, and he is just going to be a menace in the defensive backfield there.
Now, hold on 1 second. Let me think a little bit more here. Because
they are trading up. You are right. They are trading up in this scenario because they are going to jump us by 2 picks, and this will be Drake May.
The only other thought here, and how much more time do we have?
We've got a little bit, but for the sake of keeping this a little realistic, let's not stick too long on this trade offer.
Yeah, no. The only other thought: follow up a Michigan quarterback with another Michigan quarterback. We could still grab J.J. McCarthy.
I'm gonna shoot that shit down right now. I do not want J.J. McCarthy in New England. No, the self-proclaimed, or by his coach, the best quarterback in college football history, who throws the ball like 11 times in a national championship game. I don't want J.J. McCarthy.
All right. So let's miss all trades. Let's grab our Drake May.
All right, let's do it. We're going to reject these. Drake May, welcome to New England. You are the new franchise quarterback of the New England Patriots. That feels good. So we'll move on here. We got Joe Alt 5th, got Brock Bowers 7th, Jaden Daniels 8th to the Falcons. We saw that one coming. Michael Penix 10th to the Jets, Bo Nix 12th to the Broncos, Keon Coleman, damn, that sucks, to the Saints at 14, Dallas Turner at 15 to the Colts, Jared Verse 17 to the Jaguars, Cooper DeJean, what was that, 19 to the Bucks, Kool-Aid McKinstry 20th. Oh my God, this is moving quick. I don't know how they do this in real time. It's obviously not this quick, but and we're getting here Troy Franklin to the Eagles at 27. I don't mind that too much. Damn, the wide receivers are flying off the board here. All right, but that'll conclude round 1. And here we go. We're up to our pick that we acquired from the Cardinals earlier in this mock draft. Let's explore some of these trade offers. We've got Atlanta trying to come in and swoop for this pick, number 34 overall, offering a first in 2025, a fourth in 2025, and Jonnu Smith. Do we really want to bring him back? Next,
No,
we've got the Commanders offering a fifth in the number 141 overall, a fifth this year, a sixth this year, 181 overall, and a first round pick in 2025. Washington, I think you're just going to be coming up a little short there with that trade proposal. And then the Vikings offering TJ Hawkinson straight up for number 34 overall. Are any of these catching your eye?
I mean, we're going to need a tight end.
We are.
And yeah. And we have the next pick.
So here, wow. While you're thinking then, would you, because keep in mind, Gesicki and Hunter Henry, if I'm not mistaken, are both free agents this upcoming year. Let me pull this up. We've got, unrestricted free agent in Mike Gesicki, unrestricted free agent in Hunter Henry. Gesicki 28, Hunter Henry 29. So, I mean, none of them are too young. They're not too old either that we can't get something out of them, something left in the tank. We were going to need to take a tight end somewhere in this mock draft anyways. Do we use a pick instead to grab one of the better ones in the league? But keep in mind, too, this guy just tore his MCL and I think ACL in week 16. So we could be getting him, but you might not be getting him at full speed for week 1. You might not be getting him on full speed until maybe week 6, week 8. Or do we want to stick to young route?
Yeah, with the point that he is injured, we probably won't see him until week 6 or week 8. I was thinking, let's skip all these and let's draft. Because I think there's still a couple tight ends that we could probably get in early in the third if we need to.
Absolutely. I like that too, as much as it hurts to pass up on TJ Hawkinson. I think there's, we can find a diamond in the rough sort of prospect here at tight end. And I think, Hawkinson is a great tight end. He's a great receiving tight end. But one thing that I think is going to carry over from Belichick's Patriots to Mayo's Patriots is going to be the fact that they're going to want real big blocking tight ends still too. And I think that's what we're going to have to target here later in this draft, rather than such a receiving threat. But I could be wrong too. We could be switching up the offense a little bit. But we're going to go ahead and reject this, and we're going to look who we have available at number 34 overall. The top available options, we got Brian Thomas, wide receiver out of LSU, Cameron Kinchins, safety out of Miami, Florida, Tyler Dubin, safety out of Minnesota, Emeka Egbuka, I can never say his name correctly. That's the wide receiver out of Ohio State. However, we're not going to take him in this situation because I'm pretty sure he's already mentioned that he is going to return to school for 2024. Leonard Taylor, defensive lineman out of Miami, Chop Robinson, edge out of Penn State, Ladd McConkey, wide receiver out of Georgia. And outside of that, I don't think we're going to go too much farther down, except maybe for a guy like Xavier Worthy out of Texas. I will say after quarterback, I made a list of our needs. The next biggest one, I think, would be offensive tackle here. However, I don't know, outside of maybe, Tyler Guyton in Oklahoma, I don't know if there's anybody we want to reach for offensive tackle here.
Well, again, we got the next pick.
We do.
So I'm going to go.
So we could get him.
Yeah, I would say let's go the receiver out of Georgia.
Georgia, Ladd McConkey. You're taking Ladd McConkey over Brian Thomas. I can pull up here, and if you look, I've got their draft profiles here as well. We've got Brian Thomas, 6'4", 205, role as an outside X receiver, which we probably do need. Ran a 4.47 40. They're giving him 78% at hands, 84% short receiving, 88% intermediate, 93% deep threat, along with a 66% blocking. And then if we look at Ladd here, we've got, did I just pass him? I think I did. Yep. Ladd here, we've got 6 foot, 185, role as a multi-role receiver, 4.59 40. We've got 69% at hands, 84% at short receiving, 89% at intermediate, 85 at deep threat, and a 66 blocking. My vote would go Thomas here, but let me know where we're gonna go.
Yeah, I mean, you are correct. We need an X. We need someone because you have Douglas who will be in the slot. So we'll go there.
We'll go Thomas. I like that. And you do bring up a great point with McConkey. That seems like such a Patriots guy. But that could be the old Patriots way there. We could be going for a guy like Brian Thomas under Gerard Mayo because, he sees a higher upside. He sees more talent. But I like that pick. I like that pick as getting Drake May a weapon here, because we definitely need to bolster those up. So we're going to go ahead and take Brian Thomas here, and that brings us to 35. We got some more trade offers. We're going to run through these pretty quickly here. We got the Rams offering 2 6-round picks, number 214, number 218 overall, a first in 2025, a fourth in 2025, Kevin Dotson, offensive guard. We've got the Dallas Cowboys offering a fourth this year at 124, a first rounder in 2025, and linebacker Damone Clark, who was low-key a menace this year. Damone Clark was very good. And then we've got the Seattle Seahawks offering number 118 overall in the fourth round this year and a first rounder in 2025. Any of these catching your eye, or you want to take our guy here?
Let's take our guy. Let's take our tackle.
Tyler Guyton?
Let's read the tackle, yep.
Yep, I love it. We're on the same page here. All right, let me go grab Guyton. Quick little profile for him. We've got a 6'7", 327 offensive tackle. I didn't know this guy was that big, but I mean, that's essentially like replacing Trent Brown with Trent Brown. 5'10", 40, 80% on the run or on the pass blocking, 67% on the run blocking. Overall rating of an 86.3 out of 100 prospect. We're going to lock him in at our number 35 overall pick, and we're going to start moving in the second here. So we got Tyler Nubin, Leonard Taylor. We got Ladd McConkey going to the Titans here. Chop Robinson to the Commanders. We weren't too far off on Ladd. J.J. McCarthy to the Saints. Xavier Worthy to the Colts. J.J. in New Orleans. That's interesting. How do you feel about that one as we wait here for our next pick?
I mean, Jameis Winston is gone, so.
Yeah, I mean, they still got Derek Carr there for a couple of years, but I think, I don't think he's your guy or anything like that. They're probably looking for a succession plan. I think J.J. McCarthy could maybe do some things there. I don't know. If you kind of retool the offense to be a little more run heavy, I think that would definitely help out J.J. a little more. And with the Saints just firing their offensive coordinator, maybe it could happen. All right, so we've pulled up here on pick number 68 overall in the third round. I got 2 trade offers coming in. One from the Cincinnati Bengals, a second, fourth, and seventh in 2025, and Charlie Jones at wide receiver. I'm not going to lie, I don't even know who this guy is. He's probably like 7th wide receiver on the depth chart. We're not going to take that one. And then we've got the Cleveland Browns offering also a second, fourth, and seventh in 2025, along with wide receiver Jalen Darden, return specialist. But I don't think either of these are flashy enough that would, Okay, so we're gonna reject these ones, and we're gonna look at who we've got available. So we've got my top 3 needs that I had identified going into this podcast: quarterback, offensive tackle, wide receiver. We've handled all 3 of those with our first 3 picks. The next ones in that order that I've got edge, tight end, cornerback, safety, and linebacker. Edge, I didn't want to put up there because we're losing Josh Uche and, well, potentially he's a free agent, and Anfernee Jennings as well. I know he's been more of a special teams role player, but he has been playing the edge, and he was pretty good this year. So there's a possibility both of those aren't back. I think an edge would be something good to target here, but let me know if you've got any other positions of need or anything else you'd want to look for in these available players.
One of the things I quickly saw, again, I think it was last night or this morning, we need to look for a receiving running back.
We do. Here's the running backs we have. You're thinking Bucky Irving, yeah?
Yeah.
I don't think we take him here, if anything, just because currently there's still Blake Corum on the board, Trey Benson, Travion Henderson, then Bucky Irving, then there's your guy, Will Shipley, and Donovan Edwards, who's also a great receiving back. We saw that in the national championship. Audric Esteem, the Notre Dame quarterback. Just want to put this note out there. I think he's going to be an absolute gem in dynasty football. Don't you dare take him in our draft for me. Braylon Allen and so forth. So I don't think we need to reach on a running back here. If you wanted to secure your guy, we could do that. Or just wait till the 4th. Or do we have... No. We've got 1/3, 1/4, and 2/5. That was the other one that we picked up from the Cardinals in this mock. So we will have to wait around. But are you sure on taking Bucky or anything here? Do you want to look at maybe an edge, maybe a linebacker, a safety to fill in some impending needs?
I think we have to go really cornerback. I think we can wait till the next round. Hopefully, maybe add some picks in the 4th to be able to get a tight end and a running back. So let's look at a cornerback. I think that is a definite need that we're going to have.
I love that idea. Great call, hypothetical GM. I'm trying to pick up another pick in the 4th here to bolster our depth in this draft. So cornerbacks we've got available: Kalen Carson out of Wake Forest, Max Melton out of Rutgers. That almost makes too much sense. I was looking at him a little, but don't we love our Rutgers guys? There's a lot of safeties still available, and then Chris Abrams-Drain from Missouri, along with Kyrie Jackson. Those are the top 4 cornerbacks we still got available on the board. Let me pull up the draft profile here for the first couple. We got Kalen Carson, 6 foot, 195, role as an outside man, press corner, 4.48 40, and they're giving him a 72% tackling grade, 83% in the run defense, 74% in coverage, 70% in zone, 73% at man press with an overall rating of 85.4. We've got Max Melton out of Rutgers, 6 foot, 190, role as an outside man, press corner, 4.44 40. We've got 50% at tackling. That might be a little worrisome. 71% at run defense, 78% at coverage, 71% at zone, 80% at man press for an overall grading of 83.0. And then let me pull up one more here for Chris Abrams-Drain. We'll make the decision probably between these 3 guys. Chris Abrams, 5'11", 178, a role as a dual role man press cornerback. Ran a 4.42 40, 84% at tackling, 67% at run defense, 92% at coverage, 87% in zone, 88% at man press, with an overall rating of 82.6. Obviously, he's got the better grades, but I think, if we're going to keep our defense kind of similar to what we've seen in years past, I think this pick almost makes too much sense. With being a zone coverage guy, with being a guy that can tackle, you're pretty confident in his tackling ability. Maybe be able to throw him in that weird nickel role, the hybrid role that we do. Out of these 3 cornerbacks that we've still got available, which one are you leaning? Which one do you make the call here?
I mean, I like that kid's stats, his upside. What though? And I know between 6 feet and 5'11", really, what's the difference? But
Mm-hmm.
I think we need, you know, someone listed at 6 feet alongside our number one pick this past year. So let's go with the number one kid off the board that's rated. Let's go,
Kalen
Carson.
Carson out of Wake Forest. Let's do it. Welcome to
Yep.
New England, Kalen. All right, so we're gonna sit here and wait for round 4. That's a great analysis there. I love that. There was one more corner that I had done a mock draft yesterday, and potentially if he drops to us later, we could pick him up. It's Kyrie Jackson out of Oregon. I know you love your big corners. Oh my God, can I pull up his draft profile, please? Holy shit. This guy looks like a freaking gem. 6'3", 195, outside man, press corner, ran a 4.4 40, 88% at tackling, 85% at run defense, 80% at coverage, 76% at zone, 78% man press, for an 82.5 overall rating. I think, we could see but that is somebody that we could actually see get picked up by the Patriots. But it's giving me a little bit of PTSD when it comes to Joequan Williams out of Vanderbilt. Do you remember that guy?
Yes, I do. Yeah.
Yeah, huge corner that we thought was going to pan out, and then he just stunk. But yeah, he was also 6'3" or 6'4", if I'm correct. Okay, so we've got our 4th round pick here, number 103 overall. We've got some trade offers to go through again. Let's go.
Not offering any drafts, so let's get rid of that.
Yeah, just for the viewers here, we got Rob Havenstein, the offensive tackle from the Rams. That's their offer just for him straight up, but we are looking for some draft assets, so we're going to politely decline that one. We've got the Cincinnati Bengals. Oh, this might be exactly what we were looking for almost. We got them adding in 115 overall, a 4th round pick, and a 5th round pick and 151 overall. So we add to have 3 fits in this scenario, along with Max Sharping, I think I'm saying that correctly, offensive guard from the Bengals. Offensive line depth isn't bad to have. I do like this one, but let's check out the others.
Yep.
We've got the Chicago Bears offering pick 10 in the 4th round, so we'd only move back, what is it, 7? Yeah, 7 places here. 110 overall. We'd also add a 6th rounder, 186 overall, and a 6th in 2025. I don't mind that, especially because... Yep. I mean, granted, yeah, the Bengals are offering us 115 overall, but you're getting 5 more spots on that, and you're getting an additional 6 next year then, too. And then we've got, a division rival. Gross. We got the Miami Dolphins offering a 4th and a 5th in 2025, along with defensive tackle Brandon Pili, whatever it may be. I don't like the Dolphins. I don't like the Rams. I'd probably lean the Bears slightly over the Bengals, but if you're going to come here and say that you like the Bengals offer more right now, I'm fine to pull the trigger on that one as well.
Yeah, I think it gives us that opportunity, what we just said. We want an extra pick in this draft, and we get offensive line depth. So let's go with the Bengals.
Let's go with the Bengals. All right. I like that one. He started 0 games this year. I'm just noticing that. He hasn't started a game for Cincinnati when signing with them. But in his first 3 years in Houston, from 2019 to 2021, he started a good amount of games. I'm not seeing any sacks or any stats on that here, but I guess we're going to have to become familiar with Max Sharping in this scenario. So we're going to accept this trade. And we're going to wait about 12 more picks until we're back on the board. There goes your guy, Will Shipley, to Los Angeles. Audric Esteem going to the Vikings. Oh my God, I love that landing spot. Oh, that's beautiful. We got some wide receivers going off the board. Marshawn Lloyd, running back out of USC, going to the Jaguars. And now we are up to our next pick. Oh, we've got some more trade offers. We got the Jaguars trying to trade back up a pick. They are currently at 116. We are sandwiched between them at 114, 116. They're offering us 116, a 6th in 2025, and Nathan Rourke, quarterback. If that was anybody else, I feel like this would be more appealing, but this guy's just going to get cut. Am I right?
Yeah.
Okay. So we've got the Rams offering 157 and 158, both fifth-round picks this year, along with 191 overall, a sixth-round pick. That's definitely adding some depth. I don't hate that one. But that does mean we're going to trade out of the fourth here. Let's keep that in the back of our mind.
And we already have 3 in the fifth, so
we do. We've got the Texans offering 126 overall, so we move back 11 more spots, and 163 overall in the fifth. I don't mind that.
I don't mind that.
Yeah, and then we've got the Packers offering a fourth and fifth in 2025. Sorry, Packers, that's not going to do it. Before we pull the trigger on this Texans one, if you want to make the call here, I am going to pull back up the big board for who we've got available. Keep in mind we have our quarterback, offensive tackle, wide receiver, and a corner so far. So we still need edge, tight end, maybe a safety in the case that we get some that leave, Jalen Mills or if Jalen Mills or Kyle Duggar don't come back, and then linebackers. You know the Patriots always love drafting their linebackers, getting depth there. Oh, look. Just as you were saying, receiving running back, Bucky Irving is gone. But the man Donovan Edwards, national championship hero, is sitting there right in our face. Do you want to take the receiving back in Donovan Edwards here? Potentially. Or do you want to go and move back another 10 spots, pick up another pick, and then reevaluate there?
No. I want to take... We desperately need... I mean, Ramondre can catch the ball, but you know, in this era that a back is not 3 down anymore, we have to take somebody else. Let's take young man out of Michigan.
Taking Donovan. I like it. That would be awesome. I think he would be a stud here for fantasy purposes, dynasty-wise. That would be a great target. So we're going to take Donovan Edwards, lock him in there at number 115 overall in the fourth. And now we're going to get into our round. We're going to wait until the fifth here. We've got 139, 140, and 151 coming up in the fifth. Talk to me a little bit. How you liking this draft so far? With the weapons we're getting, obviously... Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm actually really liking the fact that right off the bat, we took our top 3 needs and got some guys who could plug in and play immediately. So at this point, you know, as I love the fact in the fifth, we have 3 picks. I think we have to target tight end, linebacker, and then probably another center.
So you're
Andrews is getting old.
Not worried
so
about
I
a
think
safety here?
No, because remember, we got Buda Baker, and I think Duggar will resign.
I forget in this situation we did get Buda Baker. Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, so maybe we can take that off the needs. Okay. All right, so our pick is available here. Jalen Ford, the linebacker out of Texas, just went to the Browns at 138. We've got 139 and 140 here. Let's go look for our tight end.
Yep.
You good with that in the fifth here? Let's get the guy that we want to get. So the ones that we have available right now, McCallan Castles. What a name. Oh my goodness. Out of Tennessee. Look at this guy. 6'5", 252, running a 4.7 40. Role as a slot multi-role tight end. You got 71% hands, 79% short receiving, 82% intermediate routes, 76% deep threat, 73% blocking. Definitely catching my eye. Mostly because I
absolutely. And I'm sure the kid, I mean, I think we saw a couple games. He made some catches with Tennessee, although they were probably throwing it deep more than to him. But I do like that.
I am a fan of that guy at first glance. We've got Ben Sinat. I might be mispronouncing that, but 6'4", 245 out of Kansas State. Role as an inline multi-role tight end. You got 83% hands, 87% short receiving, 93% intermediate, 94% deep threat, 75% blocking. This guy looks a little more like a receiving threat, but he does have the blocking capabilities there. That is nice to see. We've got A.J. Barner, 6'6", 251 out of Michigan, inline multi-role tight end, 4.7 40. 70% hands, 72% short receiving, 77% intermediate, 70% deep threat, 62% blocking. We're seeing a bit of a drop off there. We've got Trey Knox, tight end out of South Carolina, 6'5", 237, inline multi-role tight end, 4.48 40, 70. Wait, did I read that right? 4.48 40 for a tight end. That's crazy fast. We've got 71% at hands.
This kid was something coming into college, if I recall.
Yeah. Well, here we go. Trey Knox, Blackman High School, 4-star rated recruit by ESPN, 4-star grade by 24/7 Sports. After high school, opted to join Arkansas, and looks like he transferred there. But so we got 71% at hands, 75% short receiving, 81% intermediate, 65% deep threat, 61% blocking. And then I'm going to look at this last guy, and we'll make our choice between them. Austin Stogner out of Oklahoma, 6'6", 255, 4.79, 40. Inline receiving tight end role. You've got 73% at the hands, 65% short receiving, 66% intermediate, 64% deep threat, and a 45% in the blocking department. I like Trey Knox. I like the upside there, but I think my vote would go to McAllen Castles. But how are you feeling about these tight ends, Dad?
I was going to say, love the name as well.
That's sick,
and
right?
He's the top. Yeah, and he is the top rated remaining. And I think if we want to, maybe we can always go after that kid from South Carolina later, even maybe in
the fifth.
We are in
the sixth. Yeah.
Yeah. So we could bolster too. I mean, that height and that speed, that's crazy. But I think we have to go. Yeah.
Crazy weapon. Yeah. All right, so we're going to get what looks to be the most well-versed tight end on the board here still, McAllen Castles. What a name. I'm never going to get over that. Welcome to New England. Now, at 140, we've got this pick here. We just addressed the tight end need. You pick the need on this one. You steer the ship. Where are we going with pick 140 overall?
We have to go linebacker.
Okay. I like it. Linebackers available. We got Tyron Hopper out of Missouri, 6'2", 221, multi-role linebacker, 53% tackling, 75% pass rush, 69% run defense, 57% coverage for an overall rating of 79.8. We've got Ben Bywater out of BYU. This guy just looks like a Patriot. A BYU linebacker. Tell me how much sense that makes for the Pats there.
Yeah.
You got 6'3", 235, multi-role linebacker, 67% tackling, 60% pass rush, 64% run defense, 59% coverage for an overall grade of 78.7. We've got Michael Barrett out of Michigan, 6 foot, 239, multi-role linebacker, 4'5", 40, 73% tackling, 90% pass rush, 75% run defense, 80% coverage. This guy looks incredible. His stock is up right now for an overall rating of 78.3. Looks like he could maybe even fill in that edge role if needed, if we were to grab this guy. Kind of two positions there.
But at 6 feet, I mean, not tall, but probably has the speed on the edge, but could drop back and cover as well. I don't want to go any further in discussion. I want to grab that kid.
I love it. I love the pick. That's a great pick, GM. Let's lock it in. All right, let's wait till our next pick.
And we got 2 Michigan linebackers with Bentley and him.
True. Bentley did go to Michigan, right?
Yes. You think I don't know shit?
I would think I would know that.
I think he went to Michigan.
Oh, maybe. No, I think you might be thinking of Jabril Peppers. Did he not go to college? Why can't I find this? I literally can't find where Jacon Bentley went to college here. Okay. Well, I guess we're gonna have to figure that out another time. That's crazy. All right. Alabama State. Is that it? Offensive guard. We're looking at the wrong guy.
Purdue.
Regardless, well, Purdue. Thank you. That's the one.
Purdue.
Yeah. Okay. That makes a lot more sense. That sounds correct.
All right. Well, Big Ten.
Okay.
Another Big Ten.
Big Ten. Still, we're getting some Michigan guys in this draft class, proven winners, bringing that national championship energy over to the Pats. I don't mind it. All right. So at 151 here, we've got 3 more trade offers coming in. Green Bay Packers offering 203 overall in the 6th this year, a 5th in 2025. Alex McGough, backup quarterback. I think that's just going to kill the deal for us.
We don't need another. No.
Yep. We got the Ravens offering pick 169 overall, so we drop back 18 spots from where we are right now and picking up a 6th in 2025.
No.
Okay. And then we've got the Houston Texans offering 163 overall. We drop back 12 spots. We'd pick up an additional 7th this year at 247 overall, and we'd get a 7th in 2025. Before you state your case here, I'm going to minimize so we can see who's on the big board still, but I wouldn't mind taking this if we're not in love with any guy to be able to add another draft pick.
I'm inclined to agree with you on that.
Okay. So we got our linebacker, we've got our tight end, running back. Okay, so here's what I'm thinking here, right? We go look for an edge, but like I said, if we don't fall in love with a guy, we can trade down. Or we potentially take another weapon, another receiver, and bolster that wide receiver room. Which route do you want to go here?
I want to let's quickly look at an edge. But, we already picked up a wide receiver. We have Douglas. We got the kid from LSU. Most likely we'll be able to find another free agent. Kendrick Bourne will be back.
That's 3 then.
Huh?
I'm just saying that's 3 that I think we know going into this year. Demario Douglas in this situation, Brian Thomas, and Kendrick Bourne. I do think we get a deal and he comes back. But that leaves question marks over Devontae Parker, who I don't think it would be bad to move on from, and Tyquan Thornton, who's just been so-so in the couple of years that we've had him so far.
Right, and you're forgetting the kid from LSU.
No, I said that. Brian Thomas. That leaves 3. Him,
No.
Douglas.
The kid we got last year.
What are you talking about? I don't think we drafted an LSU wide receiver last year.
Well, we did.
All right, well, you look that up. I'm going to go through some of these edges that we've got. We've got Darius Robinson, edge out of Missouri. Versatile D-line, 6'5", 296, 4'7", 840. Gets 67% tackling, 84% pass rush, 88% run defense. Good run stuffer. That would be great because we got killed on the ground this year. For an 80.3 overall rating, we've got Tyler Batty, edge out of BYU, 6'5", 273, versatile D lineman, 4'8", 40. We've got 70% at tackling, 75% pass rush, 78% run defense. Pretty steady guy for an 80.1 overall rating. We got Jasheem Davis, edge out of Wake Forest, 6'3", 259, versatile D lineman, running a 4.62 40, 63% tackling, 83% pass rush, 76% run defense for an overall rating at 79.5. We've got this guy out of Alabama. I'm not even going to try to say this last name because I know I'm going to butcher it. Justin, I'll give it a shot. Justin Eboigbe? I might have nailed that, actually. Sub position, versatile D lineman, 6'5", 292, running a 4.9 40, 78% tackling, 66% pass rush, 90% run defense for an overall rating of 79.1. And then, oh my God, they're hitting me with all these names. Then we've got Zion Tupola Fatui, edge rusher out of Washington, 6'4", 254, 4.8 40. We've got 66% tackling, 70% pass rush, 65% run defense for an overall grade of 78.8. I think I'll stop it at those 5 guys. We'll decide between those. Did you figure out our LSU question mark?
I'm getting there.
All right. Do you have any thoughts on any of these edge linemen then?
I think what we could do is probably Keyshawn Boyton, or
Oh,
Boy,
Kayshawn Booty. Yeah.
Keyshawn.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good point.
So we're
That's
set.
okay.
So we're set at wide receiver, and with that draft trade, we just moved back a couple, and we gained something in the seventh next year. Correct?
Yes, correct.
So let's make that trade.
I like that. I was just about to say there's a couple of these guys I like here, and I imagine all of them will still be there in 12 picks. So where's our trade? Where's our trade? All right, maybe we don't have a trade here.
Oh,
Oh,
maybe they
okay.
took it off.
Well, maybe they took it away. They thought we were taking too long. They pulled the trade off the table. So I guess we're picking an edge here. Out of the guys I mentioned, which one are you looking at?
To be honest, I wasn't really listening too much, trying to find someone. So you go with the guy you want.
All right. I think what we're gonna do here is
Is that
go.
an Alabama? Let's
This
take the
is an
Alabama guy.
Alabama. I know. I was just about to say. I think that's who we're going with. Justin Boyd, 6'5", 292, versatile D lineman, 4'9", 40. 90% run defense really caught my eye because, like I said, we got
Yep.
absolutely obliterated on the ground defensively this year. I think we need some good run stuffers. Justin Boyd, welcome to New England. All right, so that'll conclude all of our fifth round picks. We've got 182 in the sixth and 224 in the seventh still remaining. This is shaping up to be a great draft. I'm loving this, man. What position do you want to target here in the sixth then?
I think we have to bolster that middle offensive line guard slash center type of guy.
Okay. Okay, I like it. Let me pull these up here as we wait. Oh, Joe Milton, the third to the Eagles in the fifth round, it says. That'd be interesting. We're pulling up here on our pick in 3, 2. Oh, no. There goes our guy, Trey Knox, to the Panthers. 2 picks before us. Imagine if we could have grabbed him too, along with McAllen Castles. That would have been awesome. But we've got no trade proposals. Makes sense. We're in the 6th round. We're all taking flyers on guys. JT Daniels just went to the Commanders before us. But looking at the available O-linemen, got a lot of tackles. The next one, J.C. Davis here. That's also a left tackle. So I guess our first center guard, Bryce Foster, that's still available, out of Texas A&M. We've got, look at the salad on that guy. 6'5", 330 center, running a 4.95 40. We've got 64% pass blocking, 58% run blocking, 77 overall grade. We've got Dylan McCannon out of North Carolina State, guard or center. So some versatility there. 6'4", 305, 5'10", 40, 70% pass blocking, 6-7% run blocking for an overall grade of 76.9. I'm not going to lie, I'm leaning him a little more than Bryce. Matthew Jones, offensive guard out of Ohio State, 6'4", 315. He can play left or right guard, running a 5'02", 40. 74% pass blocking, 79% run blocking. His stock is going down apparently right now for 76.5 grade. And then lastly, we'll look at Maurice Smith, center out of Florida State, 6'3", 296, running a 5'2", 40. 71% pass blocking, 72% run blocking. Who are you liking here?
I am going to lean towards that NC State kid. I like the versatility. Big kid, versatility. Let's go with him.
Yeah, you nailed it on the head. I think that's where I was going to land there too. Dylan, welcome to New England at pick 182. And that's going to bring us, after this little simulation, to our last pick in the 7th. We got overall pick 224. All right, so last pick, unless we get a trade here. Make your case. What position do you want us to look at and then I'll make my case for mine.
I mean, we're bolstered at wide receiver, young. We got our quarterback. We got our backup or receiving, um, running back, offensive tackle. We in a trade. We got another guard, and we just picked up a center guard combo. We got two linebackers. We got a safety in a trade. We got our cornerback. I'm going to say a defensive tackle. We need additional potential. I mean, Lawrence Guy is getting up there. I think we need defensive tackle.
Okay. I was going to say, and this is strictly based off of, at this point in the draft, this is strictly based off of the fact that I'm looking at our impending free agents. Like I mentioned earlier, maybe losing Josh Uche and Free Jennings, while those are the edge, and sometimes they could make their way there into the linebacking core, play that. We're also losing Mac Wilson. Yes, we have a linebacker. I think in the case of the Patriots, like we've seen, we've never had enough linebackers, it seems like. We're always drafting some more, always trying to sign some more. I would think maybe get some depth here, there. But I'm fine looking at DT2. I think you won me over. Okay, so we are at our pick 224. We've got some D-line. You said defensive tackle. You're not looking for edge here, correct?
Yep. No, defensive tackle.
So then we've got the first available, or the best available, let me say. DeMonte Capehart out of Clemson, 6'5", 320. He can play nose tackle or D tackle. So anywhere along the line, running a 4.75 40. That's pretty fast for a big guy. We got 74% tackling, 74% pass rush, and 74% run defense. Clean sweep of the 74. Somehow he's got an overall rating of 75. Make that make sense. They're all 74. We'll move on to who's the next available DT. We've got Jason Jones out of Auburn. 6'6", 388. You love that size there on the defensive line. I think. Running a 5.18 40, 77% tackling, 70% pass rush, 76% run defense for an overall rating of 74. And then we've got Elijah Simmons here, D lineman out of Tennessee, 6'2", 340, nose tackle, D tackle, running a 5'10 40. We've got 64% tackling, 67% pass rush, but 80% rush defense for a 73 overall grade. Out of those, what I said, three? Yeah, I think three guys. Which one are you looking at the most?
I love the fact that the Clemson guys still available. We've seen them just develop defensive tackles, but when you just said that kid from Auburn at 6'6",
Yep,
380?
6'6", 338. No, not 380. 338.
But still, 6'6", 338.
That's huge. That could really help with our rush defense. Yeah.
Yep.
All right.
Let's take it.
I like that one. All right, Jason Jones out of Auburn. Welcome to New England, and welcome to, I guess, being the 7th round, being the last pick for us here in this mock draft. We'll let this run. We'll do a little recap of what we've got here. Our reactions on the draft class as a whole, and then we'll move on to what I think, just with our timing here, we got about 27 minutes till 9 a.m. We might run our last topic here and then call it quits. I realized I wanted to, at the start of this one, start announcing what day it is at the start of the podcast so people know. I realize it doesn't help so much now that we're an hour and 15 minutes in. But it is January 17th, so if that does help with the context of any of these picks, go wild, guys. And there we go. Okay, so let me give... Go ahead.
That's 2 podcasts this week.
I know. We're on an incredible pace. I'm going to name this draft title a New Era Mock Draft 1.0 because I imagine we'll be doing some more of these. I'm pretty sure I already have an account here. But let me just finish this one.
Are you going to be able to put that on our social media posts?
I can. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. And where can you find us?
You find us on what for social media wise? All major platforms there as well. We've got the Instagram, the Facebook, the Twitter. I think Instagram and Twitter are at A New Era Podcast. You handled the Facebook. What's the name on that one?
That's just simply A New Era Podcast.
Beautiful. Maybe eventually we'll get on the TikTok too. Who knows? But as of right now, that's where you can find us on the socials. Obviously, you know where you can find us podcast-wise. You're listening to us right now, but we're on all major platforms there as well. Let me pull up this draft here for one last look at it, and let me just run through here for the audience. So, first round, number 4 overall, we took Drake May, quarterback out of North Carolina, the franchise for the New England Patriots. Round 2, pick 34 overall, we took Brian Thomas, wide receiver out of LSU. And then at 35 in the second round, we took Tyler Guyton, offensive tackle out of Oklahoma. In round 3, pick 68, we took Kalen Carson, quarterback out of Wake Forest. In round 4 at 115, we took Donovan Edwards, running back out of Michigan. Round 5, pick 139, McAllen Castles, tight end out of Tennessee. Round 5, 140, Michael Barrett, linebacker out of Michigan. I think that was the edge. No, that wasn't the edge. That was the actual linebacker. Round 5, pick 151. What was that?
He was the 6-foot kid that could edge, speed, and cover.
Yeah. The very versatile guy. Round 5, 151 overall. We've got, once again, I'm going to butcher this one more time for this podcast. Justin Aboigbe, I think. Edge out of Alabama. Round 6, pick 182. We've got Dylan McCannon out of North Carolina State, a center to bolster that offensive line. And then round 7, pick 224. We've got D lineman Jason Jones out of Auburn. I'm loving this draft, man. I think we did a great job with it.
We hit all of our needs that we want. Added depth. Love it.
Yeah, I love what we're doing there. Maybe they need to hire us on as GM if they're looking for a new one.
Supposedly, what I read this morning, we may not be doing a GM, giving Mayo some authority, along with Grow and there was somebody else in player development.
Yeah, I know the two guys you're talking about. I saw their names on Twitter this week, but I can't think of them off the top of my head. You know what? That's cool. As we mentioned last episode, I love Mayo. I love the hiring. I love what it's going to bring. I don't know if I want to give him GM capabilities right away. I want to see if maybe that's something we can dangle.
Yeah, I think that he needs to concentrate on the team and developing and coaching the team. Yeah, give him that rah-rah, hey, I want to come play with the youngest coach, that kind of stuff. But to really make a trade, to really do all that, no.
Yeah, I think that's something he's got to learn and may learn with experience later down the road. But I don't think off the bat that would be the smartest move.
But okay, I think we should send them this. We should send the Patriots this draft.
We should. Could you imagine they take any of the guys outside of Drake May? Because I feel like that's a given almost. What if they're looking at our mock draft and they're like, oh, look at these guys. They made some good picks, actually. They made some picks on some needs that we have. Let's follow this. That'd be hilarious. Okay, so moving on from the Patriots, I feel like that has been all we've talked about in these first 2 episodes so far. And we are a Boston sports podcast, so let's show a little more love to the other teams, especially when those other 2 teams are the Boston Celtics and the Boston Bruins, who are both absolute monsters this year. I mean, let's just be honest. They are both powerhouses, and whereas people thought the Bruins were going to slip up potentially this year with losing so many guys, and you can't follow up a season where you make history like you did last year. They are still holding it down. They're first in the Atlantic Division, 26-8-9 right now. 61 overall points, I think. Just in they're number 1 in the East. That is it. And then in the league, this is what I was looking at yesterday. We're only 1 point behind the Jets and the Canucks at 62. So they are absolutely putting in work, doing their thing again. And then we move over to the Celtics, who I think might be even more dominant of a force. Number one in the league, 31-9 right now. Got 3 games up on the Bucks for second in the East. They actually play the Spurs today. That'll be a nice little tune-up game, and they should beat down on them. But my question to you, Dad, and I'm not sure how much you paid attention to either team. If you had to pick one, first off, this isn't the question, but which one would you say you're a little more comfortable with and knowledgeable about their run so far this year?
Been watching a lot of Bruin games on ESPN Plus, and have not watched much Celtics or leaned and watched, through the social media platforms what they've been doing. Probably only because I feel as if they had a great understanding going into the year with their needs, and I just feel it's just on autopilot right now. Worried if we have any injuries, but I think we have plenty of, some depth. Obviously, we can look to add to that, but I think Brad Stevens is a fantastic GM for the team. So just kind of, just letting that roll. Let's, worry about obviously basketball after the NBA All-Star game. Really, that's when it gets started, I think. So, but watching a lot of Bruins lately.
I love how you put that about the Celtics. Autopilot. That's beautiful. I think that's exactly how it's been. I've been looking for the right word, but that seems to be it. These guys are firing on all cylinders, and it really is just an autopilot. They know what they need to do. They came into the year. They're looking for the banner. They're out here for, some redemption. We're not going to get into that same situation as, down 3-0 to Miami again. This is a good team. They're both good teams. But it's good that you side with the Bruins because I feel like I pay a little more attention to the Celtics, if anything. I was watching a lot of Bruins hockey at the start of the year and falling off a little bit when the football season got back into the swing. But with that being said, both teams, I think, are poised to make a great run in their respective Eastern Conference. Both have the 1 seed available for them, can go up and grab it. Granted, I'm not sure how those playoff matchups would work right now or what's projected, and there's still a lot of season left for both. But with that being said, what you've seen from the teams now, any moves that they have made or may potentially make leading up to their trade deadlines, which team, if you had to pick one, are you more confident in is going to go through and hoist up the trophy this year and win their title?
We've done this once before, but it was a year after. So we've gone, I think it was Celtics, and then the next year the Bruins. So I think it was the Patriots. I think we actually did all 4 sports, right? Red Sox, Celtics, Patriots, and Bruins followed.
Bruins' last Stanley Cup was 2011. Then Celtics last finals was that 08, I want to say. Yeah. 08, then you got 11 for the Bruins, you got 07 for the Red Sox, you got we don't want to talk about the Patriots Super Bowls around that time. But anyways, yeah, I mean we've had this before with the success. I mean, we've seen the success out of 4 teams all at once. But that's just been the last 20 years. But this year, with both of these guys being how it is, I feel like this is different than I at least have ever seen.
Yeah. So my point being, we've been very close to holding championships in both those sports, I think a year or 2 years apart. I'm going to say this will be the year both of them will win.
Man, you took the fucking easy route. I asked you which one are you most confident in. You said both.
I really think both are. Both had great runs last year. Well, not. I mean, the Bruins regular season, obviously playoffs, they fizzled out. But I think Swayman is incredible this year in net, taking over that 1A. Um, I was a tad worried about the lines, thinking we're too heavy um, on our top line. But DeBrusque, I think, is and just watched game the other night, and I think the second line, Geeky's doing really good. So I think that I'm not as worried about that second line. And that kid, Frederick, had an incredible diving goal the other night with
Hmm.
that open netter. Just tons of speed. So I love all the lines we have right now. Defensively, I mean, great pairings on the defense. And we already just mentioned Celtics are on autopilot, did great with getting Porzingis. So maybe another move they need um, as the center. But I'm gonna say both. This will be the year that you'll see both winter sports coming home to one city.
You know what? I love it. Obviously, God, we would go crazy for that. And you did mention the kid Frederick in Boston for the Bruins. That is, don't forget that man Matthew Patra. I mean, that kid started out the year incredibly hot, and I think with him being so young, yeah, there's stuff to worry about maybe in the playoffs and how he's going to handle him. But I think them getting him in there early season and keeping him involved with the team is really going to help his development, and I don't feel like he's going to look like a rookie once it comes into the playoffs there. I really feel like
Right.
he's going to fall into place. Um, you know what? I'll be the guy that makes the decision then because you want to take the easy
Okay.
way here.
Yeah.
I'm uh I'm going to say the
But yet,
Celtics.
but yet, but yet, if they don't both do it, I'm gonna look like a complete and utter jackass.
Yeah, well you're not new to that. We've got I'm going to say the Celtics. I think just from what I've seen, the way that this team goes, man, I wholeheartedly believe there's not a single team in the NBA in a 7-game series that can beat this Celtics team 4 times. I think that's what it comes down to. They're a well-oiled machine. They've got the depth. They've got, I mean, the starting five. There's a possibility that all starting five is in the All-Star game. Not starters, obviously, but everybody knows their role. Everybody is, you know, playing together. I think, we have seen teams in the past. Granted, this is when, Tatum was a bit younger and Jaylen Brown. But you remember, like, when they made a run in, I think it was 2018, and they had the guys of Terry Rozier and Tatum and Brown, and it felt like there was just a little too many mouths to feed, and Eagles were getting hurt, and I want the ball sort of game. This team is playing for each other. They don't care about their personal stats. I think they all walked into this year and they said, "We don't give a shit what happens. We want to raise banner 18." And I think when you've got a team that from game 1 to game 82 has that mindset and is going forward as a team like that, and I mean, you can see just the results that they put up 31-9 through 40 games. I mean, it's an incredible pace. And I think, like I said, I don't think anybody's beating them in a series. In 7 games, I think the Celtics are going to come out on top. I think they will, if anyone does, between the Celtics and the Bruins, I think they will be hosting the trophy. Um, I also think, yes, the Bruins could make a run. But as we saw last year, playoff hockey is a different atmosphere. And I think compared to any other sport, I think playoff hockey is the one that could be the weirdest one out of them all, as
Yeah.
opposed to, basketball or
And
stuff.
and mentioning that we're almost to line. Our number one line is by far our top line. Um, and yet we might have to break that up come into playoffs so you have more versatility to be able to handle playoff NHL hockey, which you need. So I mean, I'll go A plus Celtics, A to the Bruins or A-, but I think both can have a deep run, and we could see both winning.
We want to see both winning. Could you imagine our
We
podcast
want
winning
to.
that? Because what Stanley Cup and the NBA Finals are going to run around the same time. I mean, could you imagine the podcast where we get to stand up here and have on a NBA champions Celtics t-shirt, and you got an NHL champions Bruins t-shirt, and we're just going to be so annoying in that episode for you guys. You guys are not going to hear the end of it. That's awesome though. Well, I like the point. Go Bruins, go Celtics. Let's keep it rolling. I mean, we're a little over halfway through the season. Celtics are the game tonight will officially be the halfway point through the season. I think the Bruins are almost on the way there. So great first halves for both. Let's keep it rolling. Let's keep winning games. Let's just keep being dominant forces, man. Don't let your foot off the pedal. Let's just win. Let's just go out there and let's just kick ass. But I love it both. All right. We already mentioned the divisional games. We did. So I was saying we were going to maybe do that at the end, but we ran into perfect timing here.
Perfect.
So before I end it off here, before I give our conclusion, do you have anything else you'd like to say at the end of episode 2 here?
No, I mean, I think we've given, hopefully, our audience, again, fan favorites. We will fully admit it, but we ran through, I think, some great draft items. Talked about our winter sports here. I think all we have left is for our next week. Look to see if we rebound from our disastrous picks from the week before, at least mine. Hopefully I do a little bit better. And maybe we can talk a little bit about that summer sport, baseball.
What's that? Wait, with the one with the red shoes or the red socks? The dumpster fire in Boston? Yeah. 100%.
Yeah.
Maybe. Are they doing anything worthwhile? Are they making? No, they're not making any more. I mean, signing Lucas Giolito, but that's about all the news that I've cared about the Red Sox in the last 2 months. So, yeah, maybe we'll touch on that. But all right, awesome. Well, this was fun. That mock draft was super fun. I knew it would be a lot of fun, but then getting on here and doing that was pretty awesome.
We'll have to run probably 2 more before the draft.
Yeah, maybe one more in, one more around the combine, and then one more a week before the draft or something like that.
I like that.
That's a good game plan. So we'll get that going in the future. But with that being said, we are out of here. Appreciate all of you guys stopping in, listening. Hope you had a lot of fun. We sure as hell did. We will catch you again on, what's the date? On Monday. Do you know? I don't. 22nd. We'll catch you again on the morning of the 22nd. We will be releasing episode 3 on Monday morning, and going forward, we're going to aim for Monday morning being our release date for the episode for that week. This week, we got so excited, we just kept talking. We had to throw 2 out here. So, hope you guys have a great day. Hope you guys end the week off well. Have some fun watching some divisional football this weekend. Go Celtics.
Football.
Go Bruins. Football. Go Celtics. Go Bruins. And we will catch you guys next time.